Hey, what's going on? This is your host, Von Terman. I am happy to be with you again for another week. This is episode, I do believe, 12. I do believe it's episode 12. If you all can hear me, I'd like a thumbs up or some type of confirmation. I don't want to be talking and nobody can hear me. So show me some love out there. We're going to wait for a few people to come in. We're also waiting for our guests. We are going to be having a conversation today with a woman for whom I call cousin, right? And her name is Mimi, and otherwise known as Gold Crusher. And we'll see why very, very soon. I'm very, very happy to be here again. Life is very short. This show is dedicated to Deanna Samuel. She is a friend. She is family. Um, yes. So I'm really excited to dedicate this show to Deanna. She recently passed away. And rest in peace. And a moment of silence for Deanna. All right, folks. Today we are talking about hustle and flow. Do you hustle or do you just go with the flow? Either way, today we're talking about hustle and flow, and we're going to talk to a woman who has a few business ventures. And the crazy thing is, I happen to have a lot of people in my life who are hustlers. You know, they know how to get it. They know how to secure the bag. And I'm really happy that I get to sit down with somebody for whom I love and for whom I call a friend. So again, if you are just tuning in, please give me a thumbs up or I can hear you or something to just let me know that I am not just talking into a mic and no one can hear me. All right. Mom's always here. Love it. Can you hear me, Mom? I'm going to assume yes, we got a thumbs up. Okay, cool. So listen, today we will be talking to Mimi, otherwise known as Gold Crusher. I'm really excited to talk to her. We have a lot of questions. We're going to dig into a few things, business-wise, personally. We're going to have a good conversation with her about life. And I love sitting down and talking to people that I know and I know personally because for me, it takes the nerves away, right? This is just a conversation amongst two individuals who, in the nicest way you call baby kids, because our grandmother is Esther Stewart, and we're baby's kids. That's just we'll put it to you that way, and we're happy to be that. So she's my first cousin, and she's amazing. We were on earlier, just talking and chopping it up, trying to prepare, and I think she might have. She's an entrepreneur, so one of her business ventures is this thing called detox tea, and I think she might have drank a detox tea, and let's just say she's occupied at the moment. So so if that wasn't too much information, I'll just go ahead and get started. I'm really, really excited to have you all here. Thank you for tuning in. We're waiting for folks to just come in. Do me a favor. If you can like, comment, or share this video, it would be greatly appreciated. I know oftentimes you all chime in, which is great. I'm grateful. But if you can like, comment, and share, I'd be most grateful. Just so that we can get the word out there. This is just a conversation amongst folks. For those who don't know, I'm the curator and the creator of a brand called the Brothers Brunch that has two entities. One entity is the LLC, which is the business side of things, and the other entity is the nonprofit. We are indeed a 501c3 that's geared towards giving men all the tools they need to be successful so that they can show up as better husbands, fathers, and friends. So thank you for tuning in today. And without further ado, we will introduce none other than Mimi, aka Gold Crusher. What's going
You
on?
hear me?
I can
We up?
hear
We
you
good?
loud and clear.
Ah,
Yeah. So what's up? You had the detox tea, huh?
yes,
Is that
yes.
what you was? Is that why you was occupied? Are you okay now?
No. I'm straight. I'm straight. That was just my
Okay.
nerve. It
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
the tip.
Okay. Hey, listen. I'm happy that you're here. I'm really happy that you're here. For those who don't know, Mimi is my cousin. She's my first cousin.
Yeah,
Just total disclaimer. She will call me Kevin a million times probably. She's a real one. She loves me to death, and I love her to death. We are kindred spirits, and this is my baby. In so many ways, we come from different worlds, but in so many ways, we come from the same world, literally. So we're going to dig in today. We're going to talk about a number of things, and we have the audience out here, me, that some people might ask you some questions, so just be prepared. But I want to start off by about some themes today before we allow you to introduce yourself. We're going to talk about transformation.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about
kind of breaking up a little bit.
Okay.
The audio was breaking up a little bit.
All right, cool. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yes, it's a little better. Yes.
All right. Are you sure?
I can hear you. It just is coming like real bumpy.
All right. So what about the folks that are listening? Can you all hear me clearly? Thumbs up. Yes, no. Is it choppy? Talk to us. I think we should be good, but you can't hear me.
Okay.
You troubleshoot. Do you want me to? I can take a mic down a little bit.
Just a little bit. No, now I definitely can't hear you.
Let me see something here. Okay. What about now?
Perfect.
That's good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, listen, sometimes you gotta stop and, and let it go. You catch that? Stop and let it go. All right, so listen, look, we're gonna have fun today because at the end of the day, we're family. And so I shouldn't have to be nervous or anything like that. You shouldn't have to be nervous because we've had conversations. We've had conversations.
But not with online. But let's go. I'm ready.
Hey, listen. All right, so what's the safe word? Give me a safe word, because if there's a safe word, because I go in. So if there's a safe word and I hear the word, then I know.
No, I'm gonna say it ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna say it ain't gonna happen.
All right. So look, the theme today, if you're just tuning in, we have Mimi Gold Crusher. We're gonna be talking about transformation, resilience, discipline. We're going to touch a little bit on family, being a creative, because I like to think that both of us are creatives, which in and of itself makes us, it makes it hard to sit still. Nutrition and relationships. You down?
I'm down.
Okay, because you was a little quiet.
I'm down.
Okay, got it. All right, so look, we're going to jump right in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with asking you one question that everybody gets asked, and that's just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am 34 years old. I am a single mother of an amazing 5-year-old boy. His name is Sudais. My background is in education. I was a teacher for 15 years. I retired. I have an associate's degree in early childhood education. I sew, I cook, I like to get money. I pretty much do it all.
All right.
I like to have fun.
Say that one more time, that last part, because I missed it.
I have fun.
Okay, good. So let's talk about your family structure. Were you an only child? Do you have siblings? Were your parents married? Was dad around? Tell us a little more.
So I come from a 2-parent household. My mother and father still together, I believe, like 40 something years. I lost count. I don't know.
That's cool.
I am the second oldest of 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. We were kind of raised in sets. Like the first 3 is me, my sister, and my brother. And then the second set came later on down the line. It's like a 7-year difference. We are a very, very, very close, tight-knit family. We're damn near like best friends. And that's because how we were raised. My mother, she's like the homemaker. She's the nurturer. My father was the breadwinner. He was, he had to provide for a wife and 6 children. So
6 of you.
6 of us, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you see this picture that I just put up?
I can't. Oh God. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Hold on.
Can you tell us who we're looking at the bottom? The one with the thumb in her mouth?
The tomboy. That's me. I was rough.
Changed since this. How old were you in this picture?
I had to be about 4, maybe. I don't think
brother, that's I mean to the left, right?
That's I mean. Yep, that's my brother. That's a year and a half younger than me. Yep.
And Medina is kind of to your right, but up a little bit.
She has the head on. Yes.
Yeah.
He's a year and a half older than me.
Medina is.
She's like my second mother. She ran my dad's business. She was she did everything. She was pretty much the go-to person whenever my dad wasn't around to handle business. She handled it with whatever my mother needed her to do. She stepped right in.
So interesting. So define hustle, and would you say it was in your blood?
Hustle is just getting to it, getting up and getting to it. It doesn't always result in money. It could definitely result in doors opening, different opportunities. I feel like hustle and grind is pretty much the same thing. It's definitely in my blood. I remember for days, weeks, months, my dad, it was like a consistent routine he had. He's up at 4 a.m. He's out the door by 5, and we wouldn't see him literally until like after the sun went down. And he would stay out and make sure he made whatever quarter he had for that day, because he knew that's what he needed to provide for his family. So I get it from my dad.
You get it from your dad. So can we talk briefly about Unc and just tell me a little bit more? So you gave us a high level depiction of who your mom was, albeit a nurturer. And so I would imagine, and you defining hustle, if I were to ask you the question, who do you get your hustle from? You would say your pop.
Yes, I would definitely say my dad.
Tell us more about who he was and
he was
life slowed down a little bit. To date, life has slowed down a little bit for him, but
life has slowed down a lot. Currently, he's dealing with MS, so he's pretty much unable to walk. My mother takes care of him, but it's not who I knew him to be. I knew my dad to be this person that was definitely dedicated, self-motivated, resilient. I've seen him struggle, but never complained about anything. It was like, it got to get done. He was very militant. He had his rules, and his rules was his rules. It's like, don't you dare break them.
Right, so this is where I come in, right? I will tell a story. I've told this story before. You know what I'm saying?
I think they're going.
All right. So look, Unc used to make me, and I do mean make me read the Quran, well, however you pronounce that, when y'all used to live in Atlanta.
Yes.
And so, man, I love my cousins, man. I don't care where they were. I always found my way to you guys, right?
Uh-huh.
And he used to always just be like, you here, but basically like all these girls, right? Because that was you. It was really just you, me, and then it's you, Medina, me. The first set, right? Yeah. And so I want to go outside, make snowmans and all this stuff. And he'd be like, yeah, so you're just gonna sit in this room and you're gonna read first. What part of the game is that? Like, I didn't come here to read. Like, I didn't come here to read. And I had to read the Quran. And it was just, it was enlightening, but he wasn't playing. He was dead serious.
When it came to religion, my dad didn't play. It was like religion first. And Islam is based around principles, rules, guidelines. It's like a way of life. Order. And he stuck with it. And for us, for him, it was like, these are the rules, and my mom was to implement them, and not like in a like dictational type of way, but to like I said, she was more of a nurturer. So it was like, okay, everybody, we're going to sit down and we're going to read Quran for 30 minutes, and I'll give y'all a snack afterwards. Like, she made it fun, and she made it a way for us to want to do it.
I was looking for her to save me a couple times.
But in those moments of like, those times when my dad was very hard on us, I can appreciate it now when it comes to the hustle and the grind, because it taught me discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I think back to times when I was forced to do things and I didn't see the benefit of it because I was a kid, I didn't understand why is he making me do these things. I see it now, and it really helps me in life with like getting through whatever obstacles that I come up against. So I appreciate it. I'm grateful for it.
I love it. I love it. So can we jump into faith a little bit? And let's talk about, you know, of course, I want to know if you consider yourself to be, you know, an entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
Would you consider yourself to be an entrepreneur? Okay. So how does that work in your faith? You know, just tell me a little bit about what perceptions people have of you, whether or not you are ever perceived as being a little too out there in terms of go-getter. You know, is there a stigma for, you know, is there a place where Muslim women are supposed to be X, Y, and Z, and you might actually be M, right? You know, talk to me about where you fit in, whether or not you've experienced any challenges or anything like that in terms of your efforts of entrepreneurship.
That's a loaded question. Pretty much to sum it up, my faith comes first and foremost before anything. In order for me to be successful in life, I have to do whatever it is I'm supposed to do in regards to fulfilling my duties towards my Lord. So there are guidelines, there are stipulations, there are certain boundaries that as a Muslim woman, I should not cross. And I try the best of my ability not to cross those lines, right? Like those, or enter those gray areas. And still show up as a motivated, powerful, you know, entrepreneur, boss lady, whatever you want to label it, and show that I can still be someone important in this world and make a difference. Because I'm like, so I don't want to kind of like go off track. You following me?
I follow you, but I guess if I want to go in the direction of, so that being said, do you feel like it's ever a challenge, or do you ever feel like to be in this lane, you have to, there's a gray area, right? Where you almost, there are certain things in terms of how you come across or what you do or how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take a deep breath and step back and say, I need to check that before I like go all in. Like, do you ever feel like restricted sometimes? And I don't, I kind of just want you to take that and run with it.
So I don't feel restricted.
Okay.
Because I know there are things, there are do's and don'ts, there are rights and wrongs.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily feel restricted. But I do have to take a step back and check myself, because I am someone that's like, what's the word? Like, I am someone that's like in the forefront,
okay.
Right? So I'm out here and I'm empowering, I'm inspiring Muslim women to live a healthy, active lifestyle. So I have to make sure I do it in an appropriate manner, right? So I'm not just out here just like doing whatever I want to do, because at the end of the day, like I said, I put my faith first. So if I say I'm Muslim and I say that I follow Quran and Sunnah and I say I do X, Y, and Z, that means I have to show up in that way, whereas though I'm not compromising my religion.
That's fair. That's fair. So one of the things I want to ask, and this is the last part of like the faith piece that we'll touch on unless it comes up later on in our conversation. But I remember when we were small, we were little, and I remember everything that happened when we were little, just because those are the formative years. And I remember going to the supermarket, and I think it was Abdullah. He's like trying to pull my pants legs up. Your pants legs are going to drag to the fire and all this stuff, right? I don't remember what he was saying. But he was dead serious, right? and saying, basically saying, there's certain things that you have to do. And so just trying to explain it to me. I think it was Abdullah. And so I remember how different things were back then. And you all were less liberal or free in terms of your thinking, in terms of how you live life. It was very much like there was a stricter or more staunch approach to how you did things. halal. Like I've heard that word a million times because there were only certain meats that you would eat from certain places. And so that was a big, and so as in our adult lives, I noticed that things have loosened up a little. So my question with that is, do you find that as an adult, you've had to come in your own in terms of your personal relationship with Allah? Like nothing's changed, but things seem to have like evolved, if you will.
It's different because I'm an adult now. I make my own decisions.
Okay.
Right. When I was younger, when I was younger, it was like my dad had, you know, the set rules and guidelines and things that we have to follow. And we learned the reasons why we do these things and the reasons why we don't do these things. But I think now as an adult is different because I make my own decisions, right? But I still, at the end of the day, rules is rules. So I can't say because I'm an adult, I get to break the rules or do what I want to do. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. And I wasn't implying that you broke the rules, right?
Okay.
I was really asking just in general. It seems as though when I look at it, you know, the Islamic community, it just seems as though there are levels to it. So I could even take it off of being a Muslim. I work around a lot of Jewish people, and then, but there's the degrees of it. You have individuals that are devout, and they eat certain foods. They can't even eat foods that were touched by other foods. Like they're those individuals, and then you have some that are like, yeah, I was, you know, I mean, my family is, but I, you know.
It's 73 different sects of Muslims. So you're going to find many different variations. And I do get questioned a lot from non-believers. They would say, well, how come she cover her face and you don't? And how come? Is it because she's married or, you know, so it's 73 different sects of Muslims. So you're going to see so many different kinds, variations.
Good. So I want to talk about your businesses. How many ventures do you think that you've been a part of?
I lost count. I have sold adult toys. I have like worked with children. Huh? Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a seamstress, so I used to make clothes. I used to sell. My hustles. I have many. Mm-hmm. My businesses. Currently, I'm an Herbalife distributor. I've been with Herbalife for 5 years. Started my journey when 2 months after I had my son, and I just needed a change. And I had my Detox Me business that I just launched last year. And right after I launched it, it has become like very successful for me. And it's basically a detox cleanse. And it was the reason why I started is because I have this thing with like feeling heavy. I don't like feeling heavy. I like feeling light. And I started mixing teas and herbs. And I just came up with this really good blend that worked. And 2:00 in the morning, I'm like, I'm about to sell this. Like if it works for me, it's going to work for other people.
Right, and because people were stuck on adult, whatever you said, adult.
So wait, so people are like commenting because I can't see anything.
Yeah, they are. And there goes me. You know, this Wi-Fi thing, I always struggle. I love whenever people struggle with it. You got that. It's that, I forgot the name of the celebrity. That Wi-Fi. That KK Wi-Fi. You got that crazy Wi-Fi.
Toys and then it just went.
The toys. Yeah. Listen, you no longer sell the toys. Let's just get that out there.
No, that was like 10 years ago. Like, no, that was just like easy money. See, I'm an opportunist. So whenever something presents itself and I feel like I can benefit off of it, I'm all for it. Yes, it was at the time. Yes.
And so no longer.
No longer, no.
Why?
Do not contact me for any of those toys.
Why'd you stop selling the toys?
I think I was like on to the next thing. I believe at that time
but you are liberal in your thinking in terms of you know, being a Muslim woman but also tapping into sexuality and how.
I can be.
Okay. Moving on. Detox tea, right? We hear a lot about it. And so I think one of the misconceptions of detox tea is that it's the end all be all. Like you don't have to do anything else. You just drink this tea and your tummy gonna be flat. Let's unpack that a little bit.
No, I mean, listen.
Used term of 2020. So I'm gonna overuse it and then I'm gonna put it to bed. Go for it.
And a lot of people, and I mean, like, we got to be patient with our bodies. Like, we didn't get this way overnight. So we're not going to get the result that we want necessarily overnight. We may get some result, but we're not going to be 100% the next day. I'm not going to drink some tea and wake up and have a flat stomach and be straight, you know, for the rest of the month or whatever. What was your question?
Well, I want you to talk about the journey. So I want to really talk about Herbalife, and you know, you're the first African American Muslima, and as a part of the Active World team. I want you to talk more about how important that is for those of us who are not familiar with Herbalife.
Okay, so I started my journey, like I said, 5 years ago. I was a new mom. I was just like in the worst shape, and I really needed something that worked for me. I'm not a skeptic. Like, if you tell me it work, I'll try it. I'm the person that had to see for myself. Yeah, so a person invited me in to we offer free fit camps all over the city, and I died. Like, I died. But what I loved the most about the workout and what actually brought me back was the community. It was like I wasn't the only one out there. And for me, I came back that next week, and my girlfriend was like, "Oh, you got to try the product." And I'm just like, okay. So when I called my sponsor, I said, "Listen, I just had a baby. I'm 265 pounds. I need something that works. Just give me the biggest program you got."
Hold up, back up. You were 265 pounds?
Yes.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'1". So I was.
How can I? Do I have permission to ask you about your weight now?
Yeah. So I'm 200 solid now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. My journey through Herbalife has been amazing because I have been able to transform my body. Do you have a picture? A before and after picture?
Do I have a picture? What's going on here? Just like I can just put a picture up, like just like that. Well, I'm gonna do that.
So like, yeah, so like I've been able to transform my body in many different ways over the course of the 5 years. So my initial result was me dropping 60 pounds. I went from a size 20 size 20 to a size 14. But I was straight up and down, no curves. And then I started weight training, and I really started to get my shape that I wasn't born with, that I never had. So.
That's good, because there's a lot of people out here that feel like, look, I was born a little pleasantly plump. I don't know what it feels like to be skinny, right?
Which is cool.
I used to be skinny, right? And I don't know what it feels like to go back. But I used to be very skinny. So how do you feel now? Is it just the body image, or is it like something psychologically that clicked?
So it's two things for me. It's how I feel. It's all about how I feel. And for me, when I joined Herbalife, it became a lifestyle, which means for me long term. So along the way, I mean, initially in the beginning, I was like, yeah, I want to be a certain size. I want to, weigh a certain amount. But now I don't know when the last time I've been on a scale. Now for me, it's about how I feel and just trying to be 1% better each and every day. So I host these monthly challenges for the women in my community, really to like empower them and inspire them to just get started. Like just to get started on their journey. So
is that through the Muslima Emotion?
Yes, my organization, Muslims in Motion. I empower and inspire Muslim women in my community and around the world to live a healthy, active lifestyle. And I started that out of Herbalife.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I have a few questions for you then.
Okay.
And I'm going to just try to run through some of these, right? But okay. I want to know what drives you to eat? Like, are you one of those people that just, you're a foodie? Or are you a snacker? Like, talk to me. What drives you to eat?
First of all, I like food. I love to eat. Over the years, I've learned balance. I've learned how to like step away. Growing up is you better eat everything on their plate. And I had to learn to, okay, Mimi, you're going to eat enough to fulfill your hunger and you're going to rip the rest of that up. You know, you're not going to sit here and stuff yourself and be going for a second plate. So Herbalife has definitely taught me discipline. It has definitely taught me balance, where I don't believe in starvation. I don't believe in cold turkey. At the end of the day, people are going to eat what they want, but you got to know when you got to do it in moderation. Everything in life should be done in moderation, I believe.
So when did you decide that enough was enough? Like, when did you look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm good on this?
It was 2 months after my son, and at the time, someone had said to me, I was pregnant with my son, and it was towards the end of my pregnancy. And someone had said to me, I was exhausted, and I was just like, I can't wait till I get back to normal. And she said, oh, you ain't gonna never see normal. And I got highly offended by short little few words she said to me. And that drove me. Like 2 months after I had my son, when I called my sponsor, I made a decision that this is it. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to run with it. And I did. I dropped 23 pounds my first month. By my 5th month, I was down 50 pounds. I never ran. I've completed over 20 10-mile runs. I've did a 20-miler. I've did a Savage race. My whole life has transformed from who I used to be prior to Herbalife. But it was just those little words that she said to me was what drove me. I was already feeling like I don't know who I am because I had gained so much weight. But that statement is what drove me to the next level.
Do you think when we gain weight, and I do say we, sometimes the weight gain is us hiding from something, or there's something else going on in life that we're not pleased with? Do you think that it has anything to do with it?
Absolutely. It's definitely, I know for me, I'm an emotional eater. So if I'm having a bad day, I subconsciously, like, I'm snacking, and not really snacking on like unhealthy things. I'm overly snacking on peanuts. I'm overly snacking on granola or fruit. And like I said, I believe moderation should be in every aspect of your life. So it was like, even though it's a good thing, you still got to be careful and stay within, you got to be moderate about it. So for me, yeah, I have to like pull myself back. I'm that emotional eater that's just looking for food. And that's always been my issue.
Right.
That's not something that I have been able to get rid of, but I have been able to get a handle on it. Like, I know when to, like, all right, Mimi, and you're doing too much. You got to slow down. And it may take me a day. It may take me a few hours. I may realize it that night, like, all right, what are you doing? Like, when I think back to the meals I had for that day, what, tomorrow I'm going running. Tomorrow I'm going to the gym.
Right.
But it definitely plays a part. It definitely plays a part.
Awesome. So I want to talk about life, because life could be hell sometimes. And I want to know about your motivation, so when the chips are down, I want to know what inspires you to get up day after day and keep going. Outside of Sudi. That's easy.
I wasn't even going to say Sudi, see?
You know what? That makes sense.
For me, it's just, I know it's people out there counting on me. And I'm the type of person that do not like to let anybody down. So, me waking up and I don't feel like getting up. Mimi, you got clients, you got business partners, you got people out there that you don't even know that's waiting for you to post on your social media page. Get up. That's waiting for you to post that you went to the gym today. Get up. So for me, other people inspire me to stay motivated and keep it going. And that's what drives me.
All right. So I hear you. So on previous episodes, we talked about stress, right? And did you know that there were 3 different types of stress? And I'm sure that there's more. There's positive.
No, but, okay.
Stay with me. There's positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Positive stress, like stress that, oh man, listen, I'm tired. It is what it is. Work is work. But it's positive on the low because I got a job. I'll take that stress, right? You have the tolerable stress, the stress that is like, look, I don't really want to deal with this person, but I tolerate them, right? And then you have the toxic stress, the stress that's like, look, yo, I'm gaining weight because I'm so stressed because this person, place, or thing are stressing me the hell out, right? So when you think about those different types of stress, it allows you to compartmentalize a little bit. And when I started researching it, I'm like, yo, who knew, right? Who knew that?
Right.
Look, that's the stress for me, right? But now I'm able to say, you know what? When I say certain things, which is why there's so much power in words, right? When people say, oh, how was your day? Like, oh man, it was like, it wasn't really that bad. Like when it comes down to it, look, we're able to get up every morning, we're able to go to work, we're able to do certain things, and we're blessed beyond measure, right? But I want to know, where does the majority of your stress fall when you look at positive, tolerable, and toxic?
Majority of my stress comes from me taking on a lot. So my plate is
What kind of stress
full.
is that?
Having to get it done. So I'm one that's not good with delegation. Like, I feel like I got to do it. I got to do it all. And that's like the negative side of my independence. Like, I got it. I'm going to take care of it and handle it. But when it's so much, all I have to do is say, okay, you do this, you do that, you do that. And I live a stress-free life. But for me, it's hard for me to do that. So a lot of my stress is me taking on responsibility where 50% of the time is stuff that I shouldn't even be taking on or I don't need to take on.
Is that sustainable? Is that sustainable as a leader? Is it sustainable as, someone possibly in a relationship? Like, is that sustainable? I oftentimes think to myself, particularly when it comes to you, who's strong for the strong? Like, because I consider you to be a strong woman, but I think, and I really want to talk about this because I'm attracted to a strong woman, right? I'm married to one. And what I found was that ish was sexy, right? Yo, that little bite that she had, do you know my wife? She always had money, always, right? Credit score always been better, the whole nine. She just always had it together. And so we would go out and we would be out to eat and she would ball up the money and hand it to me underneath the table. So she knew that ego played a part. She knew that, look, I know you don't have the bread, but I'm going to give you the money, and so that you can pay for the date that you took me on. Like, yo, I'm attracted to that type of woman, right?
I can relate to that.
But here's the thing. Who's strong for the strong, right? At the end of the day, when she doesn't want to chip it down and she doesn't want to be in charge, she don't want to make the decision. What do you want to eat? Babe, I don't care. No, I need you to make a decision, right? When like, who is strong for you in moments where you don't want to make all the decisions. You don't want to be the leader. You don't want to lead the charge of being the first African-American, Muslim doing X, Y, and Z. You don't want to do all that because maybe it's the head that wears the crown. So my question to you is, who's strong for the strong? You being the strong. Who's strong for you? Think about it.
Honestly, I have no one.
You got my.
And the only thing that I can say is God. I'm telling you, when I don't feel like it, I'm praying to God, get me through this. Let me show up. Let me be able to show up for these people. Let me be able to, because at the end of the day, without him, I am nothing, and I honestly don't have nobody I can, a particular person that I can listen, I need you to, handle that. I don't have anybody. So, and that's where a lot of my stress comes from because I feel like I got to do everything. I got to handle everything. I got to take care of everything. But the only person I got at the end of the day is God. And I be praying right through it.
Knowing who Uncle Short was, depending on how you know him and, what part of life it was for him, right? Obviously,
I don't know Short. I don't know Uncle Short. I don't know who that is.
How you don't know Uncle Short? Like, he was Uncle Short for me most of my life.
I'm younger than you.
I know, but Uncle Short was. No, you probably get your height from him. That's probably why you call him Uncle Short. But just knowing him and just always looking at him like, we would go to the auction super early in the morning. Like, it was almost like they never slept, him or Uncle Sadiq, right? And so being, my mom doing the best that she could, right? Raising me single mom. Sometimes I would have the privilege, right? I'm gonna call it privilege today, of riding out with them early in the morning. And I'm like, yo, these guys are like, they never stop. So I know where you get the hustle from. But what I will say about life, right? If you could rewind and Uncle Short was like up and at it, still going a mile a minute, what's one thing that you would do with your pop? This is not meant to make you emotional, right? This is meant to say, like, yo, when he's out and about, up early in the morning, getting it by any means necessary, right? Like, what do you think? Because he's slowed down now. There's not much he can do now physically, but when he's out and about, like, do you have any regrets of some of the things that you all could have done together?
No, because like growing up, he had us. And this was like toward when we became like more of like teenagers.
Okay.
We was right by his side. So my dad, he ran a car dealership for 20 years, Muhammad International Auto Sales, and then he switched over to the imported oil and fragrances, and he traveled. So we was there, like we was there, and it was no play. It was like, okay, it's like I can set up and break down a vending stand in 2.2 seconds.
Okay,
like, but I learned that.
Out of all six of you, who's most like your pop and who's most like your mom?
My sister is just like my dad. Oh, but wait, let me stop because she probably gonna kill me. Hold on, let me slow down. So
she just sent me a comment too.
I'll see. Oh guys, why? I didn't even know she was on here. We all have a piece of our dad in us, like to a T. I can do something, I can act a certain way, and Medina be like, "Oh my God, like you acting like it be." I mean, act just like my dad, Abdullah. So all of us, in a certain kind of way, we will show up as our father. But we was right there by his side growing up. It was when it's time to work, it's time to work. We'll be out at 4 o'clock in the morning. When it's time to set up, we'll try to sneak off and find other stuff to do. Nope, let's go. It's time to work. So
you know what? I love hearing you talk about Uncle Short because there was a time. There was a time, right? And so I love the evolution, right, of that. And so I want you to take a moment before we hop off this topic and go to some other questions. I want you to take a moment and talk to me about the power of pop. Like, how powerful is that relationship in a young woman's life?
Oh man. See, now we about to go into a whole. This is like a 5-hour episode. Now you about to.
You only got 15 minutes. There you go.
No, so me and my dad's journey has been crazy, right? I'm not a daddy's girl. I love my father to death. I was the rebel. I was the child that broke the rules.
Yes, you were. Amen.
But I didn't realize that power, that the importance of like loving him. I didn't realize it until I was an adult. And I hated my dad for many, many years. I hated him. And I felt like
word. So when you say that, do you really mean hate?
Yes. And it was because I felt like he didn't love me how I needed to be loved. And it wasn't until I became an adult and I went through my own experiences or whatever. I was involved in this program called Landmark Education, and it's like a personal development program. And I really had to learn to accept my dad for who he is and is not. Like, he will never be how I want him to be. And I need to just accept him as Muhammad Amin, dad, daddy, short, whatever. And love on him unconditionally. And I can't turn back the hands of time. I can only worry about the future and moving forward. So my relationship.
Can I interrupt you?
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? We as brothers, we like to mansplain and talk over women sometimes. I don't want nobody talking about me, right? So listen, I know the Bible says, right? It talks about honoring your parents and your days will be long. And so I want to know, does the Quran say anything about that hierarchy and what you're supposed to do towards your parents? Can you educate me on that?
Absolutely. It's like a sin to like disrespect your parents, like to even say ugh. like to blow your breath or whatever. And even like growing up, I knew those things because my mother would always say it, like, Amina, like, you being disrespectful. Amina, check yourself. I
Come
you
on,
ain't gonna get me.
give it
You
to
ain't
me.
gonna get me. Ain't gonna get me.
Give it to me. My ratings will go up.
Like I said before, because I feel like I'm about to start crying. It wasn't until I had to go through some things in life to really understand certain things about my father. And I'm so grateful to Allah that he's still living. I'm so grateful, even though he's dealing with a mess, even though, he's not who I knew him to be. I'm so grateful that he's still here. And I wouldn't change anything, honestly. Like, I wouldn't. I mean, there was some things I do regret doing, but I wouldn't change anything because it has made me who I am today. And I appreciate him so much more because of what has happened in the past.
I will say that I love that. And I think that there are not many episodes that I can say that I'm gonna walk away extremely like changed. But I will say what you just said to me, by way of your own personal testimony, it has changed me a little bit. It's going to change me, and I'm going to purposefully do better. Because I think what you say is very poignant in that you're blessed to have your dad here. He's still alive, right? And so whether or not our fathers love us the way we want to be loved, I think it's important to do our work. Our like what we're called to do. It's important to do that, and you're blessed beyond measure as a result, right?
Listen, when I accepted him for who he was, my whole world changed. It was I felt like I had to be in control of the situation. Like he has to tell me he loved me. He has to give me hugs and kisses. He has to do X, Y, and Z. But
the minute all important things,
right? For me, that's important to me. But it's not the end all because I felt like I had to control the situation. I missed so many years of just loving my father, of just spending time with him, of just being around him. Like, I've missed out on so much. So now I'm so grateful that he's still here and I had the opportunity to change that. And then we can talk. Me and my dad couldn't talk at one point. Yeah. Like, I can go in and give him hugs and kisses and he ain't like, hey, what you doing?
I love that.
So I'm grateful.
Mimi, so I'm going to tell you, I named this show Hustle and Flow because of your dad.
Really?
Had nothing to do with you. So I obviously knew Uncle Short before I knew you.
Right.
He was my uncle before he was your dad. So so at the end of the day, like I growing up, he was the epitome of hustle. Him and Uncle High is what I'll call him, right? And they used to play pool, and I grew up in the era where I knew those things. Y'all hear about it. I was actually like alive and well, and that's who they were. It was before it was Uncle Sadiq, it was Uncle High, and it was Uncle Short. And so for me, like I knew, like you talk about the way he moved, like I used to like low key admire that, like, yo, this dude is decent. You know what I mean? And so like when I think of hustle, I really think of your dad. And so when I look at you, Medina, Abdul, man, like, yo, all of y'all, like Susu, I really do feel like you all are cut from a certain cloth. And it's so dope, man. And I'm glad that you are blessed enough to realize it. So the next question I have for you is, what's been your greatest fulfillment in life to date? And then we're going to go through this rapid fire question that are never really rapid fire. I'll just give you the disclaimer. So we won't do 20 questions. We'll probably do around 8 or 9.
Okay.
So what's been your greatest fulfillment in life to date?
My greatest fulfillment? My greatest fulfillment.
Have you not gotten there yet?
Huh?
Have you not gotten there yet?
No. I mean, having my son, I wouldn't say that's the greatest.
My mom said that's how Uncle Short got your mom.
I don't know. Like, let me come back to that question because I can't answer that right now.
All right, we're gonna jump into these questions. We're 50 minutes in. See, time goes fast.
Time flies.
Do you go to therapy?
No.
Why not?
It's not that I don't. So, like I said, I'm involved in personal development courses through Landmark Education. I listen to personal development audio. I read a lot of textbooks.
Okay, so you get it.
So, yeah, I'm all about, I am committed to my growth and development, my personal growth and development. Like, however that shows up. Like, I'm not just like set on one particular thing. If it's going to benefit me in the long run, and it's going to add value to my life, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Name one thing I can't live without. Peace of mind. I'm like, I'm at this point in my life where I'm going to fight for my peace of mind. I refuse I've worked so hard to be in this space of gratitude and contentment, and no matter what's happening around me, I'm grateful. I refuse to allow somebody to destroy that. So peace of mind.
So, but Mimi, talk to me about, or don't talk to me about it. Respond to the fact. Like, do you feel like you can hustle so much that you forget how to flow?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can like relate this to my Herbalife business. I've been doing it for 5 years, and it's moments where I sit back and I'm just like, when things is not moving how I need it to move, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, do I know what I'm doing? And it's because I'm moving so fast and I'm not really like, I forget how easy it can be. I forget the flow of it.
Sure. Think of your worst heartbreak and tell us what lesson you learned.
My worst heartbreak
Let them use you.
Was when I had my son. He was born prematurely. He was in a hospital for 2 months. I had gotten sick. So I didn't see my son for like damn near the 2 months that he was in the NICU. I wasn't able to do skin to skin. There was no bonding time. And when he came home, it was like I was a stranger to him. He didn't call me mommy. He wasn't affectionate with me.
I remember those days.
Huh?
I remember those days.
Yeah, I was in a bad space. So that was literally because I felt like boys are supposed to love their mom, and why don't I have a relationship with my son? And people used to tell me, oh, he's gonna grow out of it, oh this, oh that. But deep down inside, it killed me. And I didn't know, like I didn't understand why. And as I started working on myself around that same time, I realized it was who I was being around him. I was going through a miserable divorce. I was mean. I was bitter. And I didn't realize that was rubbing off on my son. And he probably was like, I don't know this lady. Like, she ain't my mom. But the minute that I started working on myself, within, I would say, I left a toxic relationship. Within 2 to 3 months, our whole world changed. Yeah, like, he literally went from calling me Mimi to mommy. He used to say he used to call me Mimi. And I would say, no, Days, my name is mommy. No, it's not, it's Mimi. Like, he was firm on that's what he was going to call me. But about 3 months, our worlds changed, and I removed myself out of a really bad relationship, and I just started working on myself and focusing on getting back to my peace, my stability, my happiness, and our relationship transformed. Like, my hair would be looking a mess, and he's like, Mommy, you're so pretty. And he'll come up to me. I'm like, Sweetie, if you don't get out of here, he'll kiss me, he'll hug me. So that was like my worst heartbreak, not even understanding why I couldn't have a relationship with my son.
You know, one of the things I've learned in life is that it's not so much as being or finding the right people. So in your case, your dad showing you certain affections, or Sudi calling you mom and giving you all the things that society tells you that boys are supposed to do, right? But it's more so of us being the right person.
Mm-hmm. And so, absolutely.
When we're the right person, all like the universe, the energy, all the energies and things that are around us tend to change, and that's one of the things that I've certainly learned in life.
Listen, change starts with you. If you
Yep.
need change in your marriage, if you need change in relation with your children, if you need change in relation with God, everything starts with you. The change starts with you. And I, with my father, huh?
You just sound like I'm Sue just now.
Oh gosh, I don't want to sound like her. But yeah, like it literally, like with my father, I had to accept him. Like it was no other choice. And then bam, like, whew.
What do you want to retire doing?
Changing lives. I'm going to do that to the day I die. Like I want to be this person that makes a global impact, and I want to be remembered not just by my name, but by that Muslim sister. I remember this one time she held the door for me, and she didn't even know
So you want to be, or you will be?
I will be.
It's power in language.
Yeah, you're right. Let me switch that. I will be.
What are we walking out of quarantine with that you didn't walk in having?
Patience and gratitude. This quarantine has been rough. I went from my son, he has behavior issues, and he can be a lot to deal with at times, and my patience is very short. So so he goes to he was in a special school or whatever, and COVID happened, and it's like he's home with me 24/7, and because his dad works a certain job and I'm home, he's with me 24/7. I had to humble myself. I had to learn a lot of patience. My business, like, COVID did a number on me. It did a number on me, but coming out of it, every day I wake up full of gratitude. Thank you, God, for giving me another day to get it right. Thank you, God.
Can I ask you a personal question?
No, sorry, no, go ahead.
I tend to only ask brothers this, but almost 95% of the time, they always give me the answer before I ask you the question, they always give me this answer. We absolutely could have worked it out. When you look back on divorce, do you feel like, and let's just start with, first husband, right? Do you feel like in hindsight, you could have worked it out? Knowing who you are now. Your phone is not going to buzz after this. It's cool.
I mean, like, honestly, people come into your life for different reasons and different seasons. You know what I'm saying? So to say shoulda, woulda, coulda, I could have done something differently, I don't know.
You don't spend time there.
I was who I was at that point in my life that I'm not now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about happiness. It's a fleeting emotion. It can rain tomorrow and all of a sudden we're sad. We're not happy anymore. But in this moment, are you happy?
I'm absolutely happy. I'm happy for life, period.
Somebody said with my favorite brother-in-law, B Lover.
Oh, come on now. See.
Hey, yo, I ain't going to hold you. He's my favorite too. So that's all I'm going to say.
He's definitely my favorite. He was the best husband I had. He was so funny. He was the best husband I had.
I like him.
At the time, I was young. I was 19. So to say that I could have done better, I mean, yeah. Of course. I mean.
So you are happy?
Yes, I am.
Who's your favorite human on the planet? And you can't say me.
I don't have one. No.
What?
I don't have.
No, you don't want. You don't want no smoke. You got to answer this question. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite human on the planet?
My mom.
You know what? That makes sense. She's a
my mom. Like, hands down.
Who's nicer than her?
I don't know. She be sending me prayers at the time when I need it. She be like on point. Like, she be in my life. Sometimes she be a little too involved, and it drives me crazy. But
I don't nearly have the same relationship when I sue now that I did when I was younger. I was her baby. Like, she would pick me up from daycare and the whole nine, and then y'all came along, and the rest is history.
Well, hold on. Wait, let me go back real quick. My mom's my favorite person. Amin's my favorite next person. I had to say.
I would have never said that. I would have said doula.
No.
Really?
No. Amin's my best friend. That's my dog. That's my we do everything together. I love Doula. The Doula, he ain't on here, so he I love Doula to death. Like, I have a lot of respect for Abdullah because who he is for me and how he shows up in my life. But I mean, that's like my twin.
Yeah,
we get in trouble together. Like, that's my dog.
Brothers and sisters that you actually like kick it with. You know what I mean? I don't know that like.
Yeah, Doula's Medina guy. Yeah, that's our guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when there's 6 of y'all, you can choose. But anyway, what's the best advice anyone has ever given you?
My mother. And it's something that I probably said it a million times on here. She says, Amina, always remember Allah and he will remember you. The minute that you forget Allah, he gonna forget you. And when I say that statement alone has brought me out of so many crazy situations. Just remembering her, don't forget your Lord. Don't forget your Lord, because the minute you do, it's it. So that's like the best advice that I've ever gotten, and it was from my mom.
Yeah, I have to say, Sue has been in my life the most steadfast. Like, she's unmovable. She is very. So I've watched all of my cousins evolve, right, into their own people, because as little people, you were going to do what Uncle Short said to do, right? And so now I see you all come into your own, which is beautiful. But Asu has always been the same. I can't say that she's changed.
You can leave her now and come back in 20 years. She's the same character, the same mannerisms.
Yeah. Guess who's calling me right now? Nana.
Don't take her in.
I know. On her granny pad. All right, so we're coming to the end of the show. And I want to make sure that I covered everything, because there's a lot that you do in terms of hustle, and I definitely did my pre-work. So just as a recap before I ask you this last question, Muslima, is that how you pronounce it?
Muslima's Emotion.
Emotion. All right. It's an initiative to empower other Muslim women to live a healthy lifestyle. You also Herbalife, and I think we touched on this a bit, where you're the first African-American Muslima
team member.
Absolutely. So can you just tell me really quickly what the next level? Like, I know you got a goal to get somewhere else. What's the next level?
So our next level is global expansion team. Is the top. I'm impacting more lives. Basically, my organization is doing 20,000 in business or more a month. I get an extra production bonus. I am about. Last time I checked, I have to hit this goal by 3 a.m. I'm about 2,000 away. I've been grinding for this level
by
for
3 a.m.
By 3 a.m. So that's like the deadline for me to hit this goal.
Tonight? Tomorrow morning?
Yes, tomorrow morning. Yes. 3 a.m.
Oh, like this is real. Like real.
This is like right now. My team Gold Crushers, they working. I'm grateful. I'm forever grateful. They working.
All right. So as we come to a close, what are your questions for me?
You should have told me ahead of time. I don't have no questions for you. This was dope. This is not first time ever doing something like this. I do appreciate it.
You're supposed to love me. Medina, the only one that loved me out of all of y'all.
I don't know what you want me to ask you.
Anything that comes to mind.
Do the people viewing have any questions?
Do the viewers have any questions? That's a good question.
I can't see anything.
Do you all have any questions at all for me?
I hope not.
No,
I appreciate this opportunity and to really open up on this platform. This is like probably my second time doing something similar to this. But it really helps with me really just like being with people, and I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate your grind. I appreciate your hustle. When I think about, all the things that you do and all the things that, life hands you, you have a great attitude, and I love that perspective. And I think that inspires people, because believe it or not, people are watching, right? We all go through hell. We have highs, we have lows. And quite frankly, sometimes it's rough, and that's why I ask, like, who's strong for the strong? Because sometimes you don't want to be tough. You don't want to have it together. You don't want to have to figure it out. We all have to have that one person that's going to help you.
Man, just last week I was in the closet crying, my eyeballs out. So life happens, but at the end of the day, you just got to keep it moving.
So our cousins are going in, or your sister and our cousin.
We should do a virtual family reunion.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hey, listen, we've done one before. Where was you at? No, we just did Baby's Kids though. We're gonna have to. We'll invite you on the next one. And your sister. My head is
over here. Can you like delete her?
I got a bigger head than Mimi, so if we side by side,
it's a hux head. I got a hux head. I take after my dad's side. We got a hux head.
Hey Mimi, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I love you.
I love you more.
Yeah. You probably think I don't be paying attention, but I remember the time you called me, you hit me up and you said, I just want you to keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring me. And something along those lines. And I was just like, yo, man, I don't think people realize that you actually need those words at those moments. And so it's important for us to be obedient, right? So when something hits our spirit, no matter where you are, no matter what time it is, you need to pick up the phone and say what God laid on your heart to said person. Because what it did for me was I was at a moment where it was low, and you should never make a high decision at a low moment, right? And so sometimes you feel like giving up and you feel like, look, I'm grinding, but it's just not all coming together. So to know that you have nothing to lose by calling me and saying, look, I'm going to pour into you and tell you that I love you and that you're inspiring me, because that made me feel so good. And I thank you for it.
Yeah, you're about to make me cry.
Hey.
It took something for me to call you. You don't even know. It took something. I always felt like you was just this big deal and you ain't got time for me. And I was just
a big deal, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, Kevin ain't got time for me. He ain't gonna listen to what I got to say, but it was on my heart for so long. Yeah. I was like, I gotta call him. And I did. I'm glad I did.
I needed it. And I thank you for it. And I love you. And I thank you for taking the time out. You probably got a white party to go to. I mean, today.
Yes, my sponsor just in President's Team, which is like the biggest level in our Herbalife community. His organization did 200,000 in business. So it's time to turn up a little bit, just a little bit.
So tell us a little bit about the Eid before we go, before we end. But this is like a big deal in the Islamic community, correct?
Absolutely. So we had the Eid prayer this morning. Mm-hmm. Of course, it was like quite different because of COVID. Sure. So a few masjids, they held the Eid prayer. Some were outside, some were inside the building. But we come together and we celebrate with our family and our friends. The men, they go out and slaughter. And
I'm sorry, a slaughter with like literally
like a lamb.
Oh, okay. Like in real life, like slaughter.
In real life. I mean, you can pay somebody to do it, but Islamically, it's like upon a man to do it himself. If he's not capable, he can pay someone to do it. But yeah.
Interesting. All right, I'll do my research. So, this is when I say shukran.
Yeah.
That's thank you, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, you gotta give me props. And so I hope to see you again. And so, alhamdulillah.
Inshallah, if God's will.
I should know that. Inshallah. Alhamdulillah is if it's God's will.
Say it again.
Is alhamdulillah if it's God's will?
No. That's inshallah.
That's inshallah. Oh, so alhamdulillah, I don't even know. Is that even a thing?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
What is it?
Like it's like alhamdulillah.
Because I'm messing up.
Speaking the law.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, big head. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, love you, cousin.
Love you too. That was Mimi Gold Crusher, who happens to be my cousin. Thank you for hanging out with me today. This was a great show. Just me unpacking some of her life and some of the things that she's doing in terms of her entrepreneurship efforts. I'm really, really grateful to have a great family, great friends. I have an amazing, support system, an amazing wife, and an amazing kids. So today was the first time I actually had the opportunity to have one of my cousins hang out with us today. Thank you for joining us. This is